My wife begged me to take a second job so we could build our future. I was pulling 16-hour shifts when I found a receipt for a $400 hotel room. When I got home, she was in the backyard hosting a pool party with a man she called just a friend. When I asked who paid for everything, she laughed and said, "You did, dummy." 3 months later, I made sure she had to work 2 jobs just to afford her own rent. I'm a regular guy from Fort Worth, Texas. 38 years old. I fix heating and air systems for a living. Nothing fancy. Just enough to keep the lights on and the fridge full. I've been married to Shelby for 6 years. Together for 9. I used to think we were solid. She worked as a dental hygienist. Steady job. Decent pay. We bought a house together about 4 years ago. Not big. Not small. Just enough for the 2 of us. 3 bedrooms, small yard, and that above-ground pool I dragged in with a rented trailer. I remember digging that hole myself, pouring gravel, leveling it by hand. She brought me lemonade while I sweated through my jeans. I thought we were building something real. Then one day, Shelby sat me down. Told me she'd been thinking about the future. Said she wanted more money saved, a better car, maybe an upgrade on the house. We can't keep living paycheck to paycheck, she said. Fair enough. I agreed. So when she asked if I could take on more hours, just for a while, I didn't think twice. I picked up a second job working nights at a warehouse doing basic maintenance. Cleaning vents, changing filters, fixing busted doors. My day job was already 9 to 5. This second one ran from 6 to 2 a.m. Then I'd sleep a few hours in my truck or on the couch at home, and do it all over again. I was out of the house 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. Sundays I slept most of the time. I was tired all the time. But I told myself it was for us. I thought Shelby was holding it down at home. I thought she was proud of me. I thought we were planning something together. Vacations. Kids. A future. Then one day, everything cracked wide open. It was a Tuesday afternoon, hot as hell. I had a job across town, but I forgot a specialty tool I needed. So I swung by the house to grab it. Shelby was supposed to be at work. Her car was in the driveway. At first, I thought maybe she got off early. I walked in, called her name. Silence. I grabbed the tool from the garage and was about to head out, but I passed by the kitchen counter and something caught my eye. Her purse was sitting wide open. Not her style. Inside, I saw a receipt. One of those hotel printouts they fold up and stick in the keycard sleeve. I pulled it out. Magnolia Hotel. Downtown Dallas. $400. One night. Her name on it. I stared at it, reading it again and again. I stood there in my dirty work shirt, holding that receipt like it was on fire. My heart was racing, but my brain was making excuses. Maybe she booked it for a friend. Maybe it was for a work thing. Maybe she'd explain. I left. Didn't say anything. That night, after my shift ended, I dragged myself home just before 3 a.m. The house was dark. Quiet. She was asleep. I didn't ask her anything. I just laid down on the couch and stared at the ceiling. The next few days, I couldn't shake it. I started noticing things. She started wearing more makeup. She wasn't tired anymore when I got home, she was wired, like she just came back from a night out. New clothes. Smelled like expensive perfume. I found a second phone charger behind the couch. I was watching her slowly drift further away, and I felt like an idiot for not doing something. Then came the real slap in the face. It was a Saturday. I got off work early and came home around 5. pulled into the driveway and heard music. Loud music. I walked around the side of the house and stopped dead in my tracks. There were people everywhere. Backyard full of them. Some sitting in the new patio chairs, ones I'd never seen before. Others standing around a massive grill. Lights strung across the fence, glowing like it was some wedding reception. And in the middle of it all, Shelby was in the pool with some guy. A tall, built guy with tattoos and a backwards hat. She had her arms around his neck, laughing like a teenager. She looked up and saw me. "Hey, babe. You're early," she shouted, like everything was normal. I just stood there. I looked at her, then at the guy, then at the pool chairs, then at the lights. "Who paid for all this?" I asked. My voice was calm, but I could feel it shaking. She tilted her head, smiled, and said the words I will never forget, "You did, dummy." And then she laughed. Loud and proud. Like it was the funniest thing in the world. Some of the people around the pool laughed too. I don't think they knew who I was. I guess in her version of the story, I was just the dumb husband working double shifts so she could throw parties with her friend. I didn't say a word. I just turned around, walked inside, went to the bathroom, shut the door, and locked it. I sat on the edge of the tub and stared at the floor for a long time. That's when I decided I wasn't going to yell. I wasn't going to argue. I wasn't going to cry or beg or try to win her back. I was going to end her comfort. And I was going to do it slowly. I waited 2 weeks before I did anything. I didn't want her to see it coming. In that time, I kept my head down, kept working both jobs, and played it cool. When she asked how I was feeling, I said I was just tired. When she asked if I wanted to go out, I said I needed sleep. I pretended I was still the same dumb, overworked husband who didn't ask questions. But every night, I was planning. First, I started gathering proof. I took photos of the receipt. I checked her phone when she was in the shower and found messages from that guy in the pool. His name was Daryl. She saved him under Danny D. Hotface. They had been seeing each other for months. I forwarded everything to myself, texts, photos, even a video she sent him from a hotel bed in lingerie I never saw before. I kept it all in a folder on a flash drive. Then I started pulling back money. We had a joint account where both our paychecks went. I opened a separate one in my name only and had my direct deposits changed over. I left just enough in the joint account so she wouldn't notice. Meanwhile, I started moving small things out of the house, tools, personal papers, family heirlooms. I stashed them in a storage unit under my cousin's name. One night, I told her I got offered a new job in Houston, better pay, fewer hours, big opportunity. She barely looked up from her phone. "That's great, babe. Just don't forget who supported you before you made it." She actually said that. She was so full of herself, so sure I'd never leave, that she didn't even ask if she was coming with me. That's when I knew she was already gone, mentally, emotionally, everything. All that was left was to kill the life she built on my back. I filed for divorce in secret. Cited infidelity. Gave the lawyer every photo, every message. I let them dig into our finances too. Turns out she'd been using our joint card for all sorts of things, spa days, hotels, bar tabs, even some sketchy charges to a lingerie site. I also found out Daryl had a record. Multiple DUIs. No job. Lived with his sister. Real catch. Once everything was ready, I had the papers served on her birthday. She thought I was taking her to dinner. Instead, a process server handed her the envelope at the front door while she was getting ready in a tight black dress. She came storming into the living room, face red. "What the hell is this?" I looked her straight in the eye. Calm. Cold. It's the end. She started yelling, crying, blaming me. Said I was being dramatic. That I couldn't prove anything. I handed her the flash drive. Daryl says hi. She threw it at me. Missed. I slept like a baby that night. But I wasn't done. The next morning, I canceled every shared account, Netflix, Spotify, even the Costco membership. I moved all utilities into her name. Then I called her boss. Told them everything, about the affair, about Daryl showing up at her work in a rage one time, which happened, by the way, and how it was affecting her professionalism. She was fired a week later. No warning. She tried to get me to stop the divorce. She begged. She even offered to work on things. Said we could go to therapy. But I was done. That woman stood in a pool laughing in my face while a guy she was cheating with held her waist. There's no coming back from that. She had to move out when the court sided with me. I got the house. She got her clothes, her shoes, and a used Toyota Corolla her mom helped her buy. Daryl stuck around just long enough to realize she had no money left. Then he disappeared. Shelby tried picking up extra shifts as a dental assistant at some strip mall office. But it wasn't enough. She ended up taking a second job waiting tables at a Chili's on weekends. Last I heard, she's barely getting by. Lives in a crappy apartment off 820. Still trying to look like the queen she thought she was. Still telling people I blindsided her. Nah. She begged me to work harder so we could build our future. Now she's working 2 jobs just to survive. And I sleep in peace every damn night. About a month after she moved out, I figured I'd never hear from her again. I was wrong. It started with a friend request from an account I didn't recognize. No profile photo. Just a name I didn't know, Kelsey Ann. I ignored it. Then I got a message. I know what she did to you. I think you deserve to know the rest. At first, I thought it was a scam. But curiosity got the better of me. I replied. Who is this? Kelsey responded right away. She said she used to work with Shelby at the dental office. They'd been friendly, went out for drinks a few times. One night, after too many shots, Shelby spilled everything. About how she met Daryl at a gym, how it started off as flirting and turned into weekly hotel meetups. How she used my money to pay for his car note. How she'd been planning her exit for months. She told me she wanted you to think she was still loyal, just long enough to drain the account, Kelsey said. She laughed about it. Said you'd never catch on. That part one already knew. But then Kelsey dropped the bomb, she's pregnant. She doesn't know who the dad is. I stared at that message for a long time. I didn't respond. I didn't want to believe it. But 2 days later, my cousin's girlfriend ran into Shelby at the grocery store and confirmed it, she was showing. Probably 4 or 5 months along. And she was alone. Daryl was gone. Deleted socials. Changed numbers. Total ghost. I wasn't angry. I was numb. It was like watching someone light a match in a field full of dry grass and then act surprised when everything burned. Part of me wanted to be done with it. Let her spiral on her own. Let her lie to whoever came next. But another part of me wanted one last turn of the knife. I had one more card to play. Back when we bought the house, we co-signed a personal loan together for some renovations. She never took her name off it. I'd been quietly paying it every month, until now. I stopped the payments. Let it go late. Then default. The collectors started calling both of us. She called me in a rage. Screaming. You're ruining my credit. I kept my voice calm. No, Shelby. You ruined mine first. This is just us building your future, remember? She hung up. Then came the texts. The begging. The threats. The fake apologies. Then the anger again. It was a cycle, just like she used to do when she didn't get her way. I didn't answer a single one. But the last twist came a few weeks later. I got a letter in the mail from a lawyer. Shelby was trying to claim I owed her spousal support. After everything. After using me, cheating on me, laughing in my face, she had the nerve to say I owed her money because I made significantly more than she did now. I handed it to my lawyer and said, "Bury her." And he did. Turned out the messages, photos, and proof I had from the affair were strong enough to protect me from any support claims. Not only that, but the court found she had committed financial betrayal by secretly using our money for someone else. They gave me everything. House, assets, even a refund of part of the legal fees. She walked away with nothing but her debt and a baby on the way from a guy who vanished. I didn't celebrate. I just sat in my backyard one night, staring at the pool where she laughed at me. It was quiet now. Peaceful. But I wasn't done yet. A month after the last court hearing, things felt still. The legal part was over. The house was mine. Her name was scrubbed from everything. She was out of my life. But the anger still lingered. Like smoke after a fire. I couldn't sleep sometimes. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. thinking about the way she laughed at me in that pool. Thinking about Daryl's hands around her waist, right where mine used to be. Thinking about the man I let myself become, quiet, tired, blind. I kept telling myself I won. But it didn't feel like winning. One Friday night, I drove past the Chili's where she worked. I wasn't planning to go in. I just wanted to see her. I don't know why. Maybe part of me wanted to make sure she was really suffering. Or maybe I just needed to remind myself that I wasn't crazy. She was working the hostess stand. Hair pulled back, makeup faded, stomach showing slightly under her apron. She looked like a shadow of who she used to be. The confident, smug Shelby was gone. This one looked tired. Like me, back when I was working 16-hour shifts. I didn't get out of the truck. Just watched for a few minutes and drove off. I should have felt satisfaction. But I felt empty. It hit me then, I'd spent months getting revenge. But I never stopped to fix myself. Never processed how badly she broke me. I was living for the moment she'd pay. And now that she had, I didn't know what to do next. The next week, I started therapy. Told the guy everything. The marriage. The affair. The receipt. The laugh. He said something I didn't expect. You're allowed to grieve a life that never existed. That stuck with me. I'd been mourning the dream she sold me. The future she promised when she begged me to work more. The nights I sat in my truck, thinking we were building a life, while she was in hotel rooms with someone else. I didn't forgive her. I never will. But I stopped letting her own space in my mind. 3 months later, I heard she gave birth. A girl. She named her Layla. No father listed on the birth certificate. I never reached out. Never asked. Never cared to. But karma has a sharp sense of humor. Turns out Daryl came back, briefly. Told her he wanted to be a family. She let him move in. 2 weeks later, he cleaned out her apartment while she was at work. Took her laptop, phone, baby formula, even her tips from the night before. She reported it to the cops, but nothing came of it. Last I heard, she was living with her mom. Working both jobs. No car. Still deep in debt. Still bitter. Still blaming me. As for me, I still live in the same house. I kept the pool. I even put up the lights she bought for that party. But now, they hang around the fence in silence. Every time they flicker on, I remember who I used to be. And who I'll never be again. She wanted me to build our future. So I built one where she doesn't exist. And in the end, I didn't just take my life back, I made damn sure she had to start hers from scratch. Alone.